Okay. So, Cannonbolt. Cannonbolt, hear me out. Alright, so in my Ben 10 universe, we have three species that are okay. So whenever we think about the most intelligent life forms in the planet, okay, the most intelligent life forms in the universe, right? Number one, obviously the Galvin, right? I have enough respect. They're gonna be the number one species, even in my Ben 10 universe, right? They're number one, right? Number two, Cannonbolt species, okay? Hear me out. Okay. The Cannonbolt species are the second most intellectual species that exists in the universe. They're the second smartest, right? Only second to the Galvin, right? Anyways, and I think Galvin is the name of the planet, not the species, but you know what I'm talking about. So Cannonbolt, right? They're a very conscious, emotional species, right? They focus. So basically, they got to a point in their society where they eliminated all hate. Avery, I want you to imagine that you have a country that consists of nothing but Orthodox Christians. Nothing but Orthodox Christians. That kind of kindness, that kind of perfect harmony, right? With zero imposters. There's zero imposters. There's no Megatron. There's no like, I can't even think of like a secret person that like betrayed. There's no like, there's no snakes in the grass. The grass is good. The grass is cut. It's good. There's no snakes in the grass. We're good, right? The whole species, they got to a point of enlightenment where everyone was just kind. Everyone was kind. Water was free. Food was free. Everything was free. They literally just lived and moved and created. That's what they did. They lived, they ate, they moved, they created. They're hypersexual, right? Not in the sense of like whore, slut, but like with their mate. I'm watching my Roscoe. This nigga runs off, bro. He's in the woods. Yeah, come here. Anyways, with their spouses, right? Every Cannonbolt couple has like 10 to 20 kids. 10 to 20. They just can't stop fucking, bro. They just can't stop fucking. And that's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. Go read Corinthians. That's how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to have a lot of sex. A lot of sex. God said that. God said that. Not me. God. The Cannonbolt species obeys. They have a lot of babies. A lot of babies. A lot of babies. Anyways. Okay, so their natural abilities, they can create organic force fields, right? So if Cannonbolt's just chilling here and Vilgax is in front of him and Vilgax goes to throw some shit, Cannonbolt can just force field. The force field is shaped like a ball, right? Kind of like Susan Storm. I like that. But theirs would have a blue tint. It would be a blue tint. Not the white or invisible, the blue tint. It would have a blue tint force field, right? And I think you would even, within the force field, you're going to understand what I'm saying because we're on the same frequency. The force field would be hexagons. It would be hexagon force fields, right? Blue tint, hexagon force field, hexagons within. That's the pattern. The pattern is hexagons. You understand what I'm saying? I know you understand what I'm saying. So yeah, they can produce natural force fields. Okay, number two, those big ass claws that Cannonbolt has, those are usable. My nigga. He has them on his feet and his hands, and they're dangerous. They can cut through anything. Right? They're extreme. They can cut through anything, right? They also created the most advanced, best version of teleportation. And they were the first ones to do it. They've mastered teleportation. They have instant teleportation. They even have devices they carry with them that allows them to teleport, right? They call it warping, right? So Cannonbolt can be moving moving. He can be rolling, and he can warp out of there. Right? Here's another thing. Cannonbolt, they can tread water. They can get a rolling start, and they can roll right on water, right on the water, and they can glide right across. In the ocean, they would be like a boat. They would literally boat the waves. They would bounce and boat the waves. And then another thing is, they can choose to break the water, and they can go down in there. And here's the thing: they're not rolling. They're spinning. Their body, they're literally spinning on the ground. You know what I mean. It's not them rolling. They didn't jump and roll. They're literally spinning and moving their body on the ground. So they can cut through water. Torpedo, bro. Straight torpedo. A cannonbolt species could literally plunge into the ocean and hit a ship like a torpedo. And they would go right through and all the way through. That's what we're talking about. That's the level that we're talking about. And obviously, younger ones, weaker, like it's gonna be just like any other species where certain ones are just tough. And some of them will be weaker, right? But they're a goated species. Okay? They're very playful. They're not mean. They're the most forgiving, unmean, but they're they have no hate in their heart. Absolutely no hate. No hate in their heart. And they're extremely playful, right? They joke a lot. They're constantly joking. They're constantly playful. Yeah. Here comes the tragic part. I don't know if you know, but in the Ben 10 universe, Ben 10's Cannonbolt transformation is actually the last Cannonbolt that exists. Their species was wiped out. And that's where I bring you back to the 3. There's a third so the hierarchy, like the most intelligent, most powerful races or aliens, life forms, whatever. There's 3, right? The Galvin, Cannonbolt, and then there's a third one. The third one is the evil ones. They're the evil ones, right? Haven't worked it out entirely yet, what they are, right? But they're the evil ones, right? And they waged a war. And they destroyed Cannonbolt's planet. The species, they destroyed their planet. They destroyed, I think, 97% of the species. Not as quite as the Ben 10 universe. We're going to do 97%. 97% wiped out, gone. Tragic. Tragedy, so sad. Anyways, yeah. I think I forgot to mention one thing. When they're in ball form, they're impenetrable. They're like, you couldn't crush them, you couldn't damage them, there's nothing you could really do. If they're in ball form, you're cooked. You can't damage them. They're invulnerable. You can't. And it's not even the toughness and the thickness of their skin. It's that, but it's also the way that they ball up. They just create this scientifically perfect ball that just like how it's like positioned up against each other, like just how it just can't be. It can't be. You're cooked.